Hello and welcome to Retro Reviews, my channel where I review my favorite retro video games of all time as well as some modern releases I have recently finished. Today I want to do a first impressions video on Baldur's Gate 3, which is a game that I finally got a hold of, the physical edition. I did a recent unboxing video for the deluxe edition. If you want to go check that out, please do so after this video. So I wanted to give you my impressions of the game so far. I've put a good chunk of hours into the game. I'm having a blast. First and foremost, this is an RPG format that I'm not super familiar with. The closest thing I've played recently is Disco Elysium, and I think that was really the first time I got into this style of RPG. So getting used to the controls is a little bit of a learning curve for me, for sure. But fortunately, because I played Disco Elysium and had such a good time with that and finished that, I had a better handle on how to interact with the world via like a wheel that gives you your options that you can do. This is very Dungeons and Dragons oriented. Obviously, it's set in Baldur's Gate. So you have like your jump ability is not set to like one button. You're not pressing X to jump on your PlayStation controller. Instead, you're going on your click wheel, you're selecting the jump action, and you get a certain amount of distance that you can go for your character. So you can jump across chasms if you have the distance that you can do. I really like how this operates. It makes you very intentional about every single thing that you do in this game, which I think is really fun. It's not a super easy game. I'm playing on just the standard difficulty because I'm not used to these kind of games and I don't really know what the formatting would be like, and it's fairly difficult. Going into certain combat encounters, you have to make sure that you are planning and prepping and not misclicking. My biggest flaw so far is I'm misclicking end turn before I do the thing I want to do, and there's no undo button, so I'm like, dang it, I keep messing up that. But just getting the flow of combat and making sure you have a good plan going into something is really vital. I chose a rogue class. I really like rogues. I played a rogue in a campaign a couple campaigns ago. I really enjoyed it. I thought that would be the most fun going into this one. Wasn't really sure which class I was going to go into prior. I played a warrior before, or a fighter, excuse me. Played a fighter in my first campaign, played a rogue in my second, and I played a monk in my third. I was maybe going to do something new. I thought maybe a spellcaster would be fun, but I decided instead to do a rogue again because they're just a ton of fun. Wanted to see how that translates to Baldur's Gate. And it is fairly difficult in the early game because some of the encounters are not surprise encounters. You don't have many chances for sneak attacks. So I'm just doing the best with what I can and making sure I utilize my party members, which is also really fantastic. The biggest and best thing I have noticed so far is the voice acting is absolutely superb across the board. Everyone is good. You can interact with pretty much every single character in this game. Every NPC you go up to, you can interact with, and it'll go into a little mini cutscene where you are actually talking to them. Sometimes they'll just give you one line and you move along and you keep doing your business. But that's really cool that you can go and talk to everybody and everybody gives you a good response. I think that's fantastic. Not many games can boast some kind of system like that where everything has a response, gives you a full like in-person cutscene, and does it so well. I always judge voice acting in video games. I'm an actor myself. I like to see good performances. My biggest gripe is when there's like an inconsistency with the tone and like the subject matter. If it's a really emotional thing and they do it fairly flat, that really bothers me. I've played games recently with voice acting that just doesn't hit the mark all the time, and it really bothers me. Baldur's Gate 3, he does not have this problem. Every character is fascinating. Every character has something unique and interesting to say. Your party members that you meet early on in the game are really cool, and they're really fun to talk to. You can just go up and talk to them too. You can have a nice conversation, try and build up some rapport with them, and that's really fun. You'll also build up this kind of like camaraderie with them as you go into battles, as you go through the shared problem that you're having with the overarching the antagonist doing things against. It's really cool how everyone interacts and comes closer together as you move forward. I like that it also feels very much like a campaign in the sense that you don't know these people very well. You're not going to immediately get along and click very well. It takes some time. It takes some figuring things out. I had a couple of combat encounters where I'm like, man, I am sucking here. I am not utilizing my resources well because I don't know how to use these other people. I've got a rogue here, another guy that's a rogue, and this other person that's a cleric. I don't know how to use these classes all together here to get the optimal combat scenario. So I had to experiment and learn. And as I do that, they feel like they're growing closer together for me because I'm learning the mechanics better. I'm learning how to make the party work, doing the best with what I have. That's really fantastic. I love that I've been able to utilize whatever skills that you want to utilize as well. So for instance, since I am a rogue, I specialize in sneaking around. I like to do that. I like doing that in Dungeons and Dragons too. I like to avoid combat encounters if I can, because that's more fun. And so like doing things sneakily can give you a lot of options. And in Baldur's Gate 3, you have those in spades. If you go up to a guarded gate here and you decide you want to sneak around and try and get through this area without being seen, you absolutely can. I snuck past some guards at a gate, went up onto a roof. Some other people confronted me. I intimidated them and got away with it, and then the town was open to me because everyone just assumed that I was supposed to be there. It's really fantastic. The other option was getting in a big fight and battling a bunch of little dudes here. Really fantastic that you have so many options. And what I've heard from everybody else that's played this game already is that you do have pretty much unlimited options. Anything you can do in Dungeons and Dragons, you can do here. Locked door, do you want to try and break it down? You sure can try. Do you want to sneak around the guards? You sure can try. You're going to have to roll some things, and if you fail, they're going to see you, or they're going to hear you trying to break down the door. It's fantastic. I love the dice rolling system. If you're doing like a persuasion check, it'll show you like, this is your proficiency bonus that you're getting. These are your other bonuses that you're going to be getting, and you're going to roll your dice and it'll tell you if you fail or succeed. I love that mechanic. I think it's really fantastic. Disco Elysium did a similar thing where you're just rolling dice. You're doing these checks to see if you succeed on certain things. And the best part is watching yourself fail or succeed. It doesn't matter what happens. If you fail, you get a different experience than if you succeed. You're trying to succeed probably if you're trying to do a check, but it's also fun to fail. And I love that about these kind of RPGs. It's fun to fall upward, essentially here. I failed this check. Oh crap, I'm in a battle encounter. Let's make the best of it. Let's do our best with this. I think that's really fun. It's kind of the charm of RPGs, especially in Dungeons and Dragons. Sometimes failure can be more interesting and more exciting than a success. So my experience with Baldur's Gate 3 so far is really fantastic. I can tell there's been a ton of love and hard work put into this game. I'm playing on the most recent version, I believe. I think the disc came with a certain version on it, and then I got the most recent update and everything, so I believe I'm up to date. I know there were some little issues and things. They've done big patches in the past, so I'm experiencing the best version of the game right now. So I haven't had to deal with any of the early stuff, but I'm really enjoying myself. I haven't had any issues pop up. I've loved the characterization. I've loved the direction this game goes. It's just really superb. So let me know in the comment section down below if you've played Baldur's Gate 3 yet, if you got the physical edition. I love hearing a couple of people saying, yeah, I ordered it as well, and it's finally coming, or I finally got mine. I think that's awesome. So please let me know in the comment section down below if you're playing Baldur's Gate 3, what kind of class you're playing, your experience so far. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.